想哭啊！没事情。
The worst off people now are not those who have not received education, but those who cannot find a job after graduating from college. I found a problem at a class reunion today. There are 6 people in a dormitory, 4 of whom cannot find a job. Later, I found out that the other 2 are delivery men. I worked hard to get into college and studied for 4 years. Isn't the purpose of going to college to find a good job? As a result, after 4 years of college, I can't find a job at all. To be honest, I actually regret going to college a little bit. If I hadn't gone to college, I would earn 3,500 yuan a month as a waiter, with food and accommodation. But what happened to me after 4 years of college? I can't even find a job that pays 4,000 yuan. In recent years, China's economy has been sluggish and unemployed people are everywhere. However, there are a large number of college graduates in the mainland every year, and the problem of unemployment after graduation is difficult to alleviate. Even in Shenzhen, it is difficult to find a job. Some college graduates have finally found a job, but after deducting necessary expenses, the remaining money is simply not enough to maintain a minimum living. Today we will talk about related topics. Recently, a female law graduate in China cried that her monthly salary was 2,500 yuan and 1,800 yuan would be deducted for Social Security, leaving only 700 yuan, which is equivalent to a daily salary of only a little more than 30 yuan. She explained, "Why do you have to pay Social Security? Because you must have a record of paying Social Security to get a trainee lawyer certificate. If you don't pay Social Security, you can't become a trainee lawyer, and you can't become a professional lawyer."
他跟我说，我的社保从我的工资里面扣。
My boss told me that my Social Security is deducted from my salary. The original salary of 2,500 yuan, after deducting 1,800 yuan for Social Security, leaves only 700 yuan. I work 22 days a month, which means that my daily salary is only a little more than 30 yuan. Why do I have to pay for insurance? Because if you want to get a trainee lawyer certificate, you must have a record of paying Social Security. If you don't pay Social Security, you can't become a trainee lawyer. If you can't become a trainee lawyer, you can't become a professional lawyer. I spend 6 yuan to take the subway every day to go to work, and it costs 12 yuan to go back and forth. I have to eat, and I pay to go to work every day. The woman said that law students must have experience to be a company's legal affairs. And the competition for civil service examinations is also very fierce. Only graduate students can become judges and prosecutors. She cried and said, "Law students nowadays are so pitiful. I still rely on the money I earned as a tutor and the money my grandparents gave me. Otherwise, how can I survive? I'd rather not survive. I don't have a penny and I have to work every day to pay for it." This video resonated with mainland netizens. Some said, "We have all experienced what you have experienced. Just hold on. It will be fine if you hold on. Don't cry, kid. You will get used to it slowly. Everyone is a cow or a horse." There is a joke on the internet that it is not easy for a boss to recruit a driver with a monthly salary of 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. But if you want to recruit a trainee lawyer with a monthly salary of 2,000 to 3,000 yuan and let him work for you, write materials, and be your driver, then you will definitely have a lot of applicants. This female blogger is a lawyer. She thinks it is more difficult for law students to find jobs this year than in previous years. I think it is more difficult for law students graduating this year because I found in the lawyer group that the recruitment of intern lawyers and paralegals has decreased, which is related to the lawyer's business volume. In the economic winter, the lawyer's business volume will also decrease and be affected, so naturally the demand for paralegals and intern lawyers will also decrease. Even companies want to lay off employees, and the lawyer industry is the same. It's not that we don't work hard. On the contrary, I think we work very hard. How bad is the employment situation for law? As the best major in liberal arts, its employment is very representative. If the employment of this good major is not satisfactory, then where is the way out for other liberal arts majors? Yesterday, I found 7 undergraduate law students from Guangxi University. and learned about their class's employment situation, which is much worse than I expected. First of all, there is the issue of the employment rate. Many of their classmates have not found a job yet. Including the classmates I interviewed, several of them have not found a job. They roughly estimated that the employment rate of their major is only 50% at most, which means that at least half of the students are still unemployed. Among the employed people, about 20% can pass the civil service exam. Everyone should know the status of law in the civil service exam. It is the largest major in the civil service exam. There are the most positions, the best departments, and the least competition. Under such circumstances, only 20% of the people pass the civil service exam every year. Among the students who pass the civil service exam, most of them are civil servants in 4th and 5th tier cities or in some county towns. In better cities like Nanning, Guilin, and Liuzhou in Guangxi, the proportion is not very high because these places are also very competitive. The blogger said that there is another destination for law graduates, which is to work as lawyers in law firms. However, very few people go to law firms. Why? Because they have to pass the bar exam, and the pass rate of the bar exam is very low. Even if a powerful relative helps the graduate enter a law firm, he will not make any money in the first 5 years of working in the law firm. It is good enough if the monthly salary can support himself, and some people can't even support themselves. He suggested that if you want to be a lawyer, it is better to go to cities in developed provinces, because the more developed the region, the more lawsuits there are, and the more people hire lawyers to fight lawsuits. The woman said that the employment rate of law graduates in her university is the lowest. I am a fresh graduate this year, majoring in law. I found a problem. The counselor told me that our law school's employment rate this year is the lowest in the whole school. I was thinking about what happened. Did all the law majors take the civil service exam? Do you have to wait until you have taken the national exam, the provincial exam, and various exams before you know whether you have landed or not, and then look for a job? Who is studying law? Don't study it. The employment rate is the lowest. The employment rate of law has been the lowest for 10 consecutive years, and it is actually called the best major in liberal arts by many people. Not only is it difficult for law students to find jobs, the overall economic environment in China is deteriorating, and the same is true in Shenzhen. Many companies have closed down, and many people have lost their jobs. Blogger Mr. Jiang said that there are also many empty shops in Shenzhen with transfer notices. In the area of Huarun Vanguard Food Street in Longhua, a whole row of empty shops are written, "For transfer." Such a good location is idle and no one rents it. Many small companies in Shenzhen have closed down, and large companies are also cutting salaries and laying off employees. The most saturated now may be food delivery men and online car-hailing drivers. There are now more wolves than meat. After most people are laid off, they will choose to work as food delivery men, couriers, or online car-hailing drivers to make a transition. Moreover, Shenzhen is a city with high consumption. An ordinary salary for an adult can no longer support a family with children. So most men and women work, and both men and women, young and old, work outside. It is unbelievable to what extent companies are laying off employees now. One person gets one salary, but he has to do the work of 2 to 3 people. He wants to quit and is under great pressure. But he has to earn this wasteful job because he doesn't know if he can find a better job in the future after quitting. There is no way but to force yourself to become a tool man. Is it the same in your place?
4块钱一顿饭，这是在广州哦，一线城市哦，是全球一线。
A meal for 4 yuan, and this is in Guangzhou, a first-tier city, a globally recognized first-tier city. Is there any other country in the world as happy and content as ours? After eating, if I want to smoke, I smoke. If I want to drink, I drink. I was in Singapore for 3 weeks. Even eating McDonald's there costs over 100 yuan, and they don't even let you smoke. Honestly, just one trip abroad will make you love your country more. I'm being real here. I'm someone who matches my words with actions. Look at me. I'm not saying this for views. In my private friend group, I praise my country every single day. Truly, we've surpassed other countries. Our motherland is just too strong. I'm about to come up with another word just to praise it more. But if a place offers food so cheap it's shocking, that's not necessarily a good thing. Think about it. What does a 4 yuan lunchbox really mean? In the largest county in the country, Linquan County, Anhui, not only do they have egg fried rice for 3 yuan a portion, they also have full lunchboxes for 5 yuan. How much? 5 yuan. Look here, another egg fried rice for 5 yuan. Just to show you. Is 5 yuan worth it for a box of egg fried rice? Right now, 4 yuan lunchboxes are blowing up in Harbin. And yet people still talk about consumption upgrade? If you're not foolish, you must be wicked. What's behind the explosion in popularity of 4 yuan lunchboxes? A decline in consumption. People genuinely can't afford to spend anymore. The fact that 4 yuan lunchboxes are selling well in Harbin shows that purchasing power there has dropped. At the same time, it proves there's a huge demand for ultra-low-priced meals. I saw the news. The 4 yuan lunchbox comes with 4 dishes. Let me show you what they are. Sweet and sour crispy pork, mushrooms, 3 kinds of stir-fried vegetables, and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. That lunchbox, 4 yuan for 4 dishes. Scoop me one. It's actually very reasonable. Okay, potatoes with dried tofu, vermicelli, pickled vegetables, scrambled eggs with tomatoes. The eggs are a bit small. A portion like that for just 4 yuan. Brothers, 4 dishes in a 4 yuan lunchbox. I was stunned just hearing the vendor yell it out. Never mind what's in it, you'll definitely be full. The rice portion is just right too. Because right now, China is entering a period of low-quality economic growth. Consumption is down. People are cutting back on unnecessary spending. Rent alone is already a heavy burden. As long as you're full, that's enough. We're not even talking about fast food or gourmet meals anymore. Just being full is the goal now. China's economy is declining rapidly. People's incomes are falling, and consumer habits are changing. Many are budgeting down to the last cent, some even afraid to spend any money at all. Right now, 4 to 5 yuan lunchboxes are becoming widespread in many cities. The last time 5 yuan lunchboxes were this popular in China was around the 1990s. One business owner revealed that he's worked in the wholesale and retail food industry for over half his life. And this year is the worst for business. Too many people are unemployed, have no income, and are cutting back on spending. Tightening their belts, consuming less, and simplifying meals have become the new consumer habits of the Chinese. Competition in the business world is fiercer than ever. A netizen posted a video saying, "Spending has downgraded, haircuts cost only 6 yuan now. The economy has regressed. It feels like we've returned to prices from 20 years ago." I went up to the second floor and was stunned. Look at this. The entire shopping mall is nearly shut down. About 90% of the stores have closed. Running a brick-and-mortar shop this year is truly too difficult. People are now bringing their own steamed buns to restaurants and asking for free soup. Has spending really dropped this low? Today, a man in his 40s came in, sat down without ordering, and took out his buns. I noticed but let it slide since we weren't busy. Later, he asked for a bowl of noodle soup because his buns were too dry. I gave him one. Then he grabbed a handful of cilantro and reached for chopped green onions. I stopped him. Those cost money too. He called me stingy. I was upset, but my husband told me to let it go. The man finished the soup and left. I never thought things would get this bad. A 40-year-old unemployed man in Shanghai posted a video recalling how he used to buy a 50 yuan dessert from Godiva, never once purchasing cheap bubble tea. But now, after losing his job, he had to cut back and bought a 3 yuan egg milk tea instead. Running a business is seriously tough now. Whole commercial streets are shut down. This is happening everywhere. You can barely see a single person, maybe just 1 or 2 people walking by. Everyone, today I'll show you just how hard the food and beverage industry is struggling. The Seafood Plaza, completely shut down. In an entire street, only one restaurant has a single table of customers. And the place is actually nicely decorated. Just imagine the rent and utility bills each month. A restaurant that's been around for 16 years can't even get one table filled now. The whole street is deserted. Shops across the way are barely hanging on, but most are shut down and have taken down their signs. Some say this is just the fate of shop owners, but even street vendors aren't doing any better. Night markets can't even operate anymore. Many people have stopped setting up stalls altogether. Take a look at this. It's a market area in the new district. Not a single person in sight. This used to be a place with over 1 million different products. Now, you can literally drive your car right through it. Can you believe it? The economy is in a deep recession. Just look at all these empty seats. Even taking the high-speed train has become a luxury now. Each trip costs 200 to 300 yuan, so people are choosing to drive instead. See that? It's practically empty. A true sign of a major downturn. No wonder the high-speed rail says it's operating at a loss. Look around, there are hardly any passengers. China's economy is declining, with many people facing pay cuts or layoffs, and consumer spending is dropping. A wave of business closures is sweeping across the country. It's very bad. Worse than any time before. Many businesses and factories are shutting down, jobs are scarce, and wage arrears have become common. The average lifespan of a restaurant is now just a few months. It's the same all over the country. Every industry is struggling. Even working as an independent professional, you can feel it. Doing business is extremely difficult. Income has dropped by more than 60%, and people simply don't have money in hand, so they're afraid to spend. As a gauge of China's consumer sentiment, Shanghai's economy this year feels even more gloomy than usual. During the May 1st holiday, known as the Golden Week in China, a famous blogger noted that people in Shanghai only visited tourist spots to take photos, but didn't spend any money at all. Take a look at the historic commercial area of Chenghuangmiao, City God Temple. Even this place is now in a miserable state. The shops are mostly empty, and hardly any stores remain open. Who's still selling this stuff? This used to be Chenghuangmiao, a vibrant market for small goods, stationery, antiques. Now this place is heavily impacted by the downturn in brick-and-mortar retail. Shanghai's population is visibly shrinking. Fewer cars, fewer people on the streets, emptier restaurants, and fewer social gatherings. Even TV shows feature fewer mommies, young ladies, princesses, and rich heirs. Where have they gone? They've run out of money. While expenses remain, earning has become harder. The recession is unmistakable, more obvious than ever. Shanghai, once the magical city, still holds its charm, but something has clearly changed. How bad has life really become? Just one video tells the story. At the foot of Shanghai's iconic Oriental Pearl Tower, next to the luxury Tangcheng Yipin complex, half the mall's shops are shuttered. Even across the street, in areas where apartments cost 300,000 yuan per square meter, malls are closing. The wealthiest are cutting back. In Shanghai, China's most developed city, official data backs this up. Shanghai's retail sales dropped 1.1% year-on-year in Q1, with a sharp 14.1% fall in March alone. Analysts warn when spending drops in cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, the country's consumption barometers, the rest of China is likely faring worse.